Today, we're jumping into a complete masterclass on power, on strategy, and on control. And we're going to do it by looking at one of the most brilliant confrontations you'll ever see on TV. We are going to break down step by step how Thomas Shelby from Peaky Blinders absolutely dominates a powerful rival, and he does most of it without saying a single word. So the scene just explodes into life with this one line. The gang leader, Billy Kimber, storms into a pub. He's shouting, he's demanding attention, and his goal? It's simple, it's immediate. He wants to establish dominance through just sheer aggression and volume. He's using a pretty classic but, often flawed tactic. He's trying to make the space his through intimidation. Just think of the loudest person in a meeting trying to command the room. And right away, right from the jump, we see the huge difference between these two guys. Kimber is all frantic, reactive energy. Tommy, on the other hand, he's the complete opposite. He is just a study in control. This contrast, right here, this is the key to understanding everything, and I mean everything that happens next. Okay, so let's really break down this first phase. Kimber has thrown down the gauntlet, and how each of them responds is going to reveal who is truly in control here. Kimber's actions are just textbook signs of someone whose power is actually really fragile. He shouts because he needs to be the center of attention. And when he gets challenged, his body completely betrays his anxiety. If you watch closely, you'll actually see him blink 4 times in a single second. That's a classic stress response, a total giveaway from someone who isn't really in command. Now let's contrast that with Tommy. He moves slowly, deliberately. He actually ignores Kimber at first, and then he does the ultimate power move. He turns his back on the man who's holding a gun. I mean, wow. He is communicating non-verbally that Kimber is not a threat. He then takes control indirectly, telling his bartender what to do, just managing his entire environment with this calm authority. Tommy is basically a walking, talking example of this principle. It's one of Robert Greene's 48 Laws of Power. While Kimber is shouting and posturing and just making all this noise, Tommy stays quiet. He's observant. His silence forces Kimber to reveal more, to use up more energy, and ultimately to look way less powerful. So let's move to the next battlefield, because this isn't just a war of words, it's a war of body language. And Kimber makes a really critical mistake with just one simple gesture. Throughout this whole confrontation, Kimber is constantly pointing his finger. Psychologically, this is just a terrible, terrible move. It's seen everywhere as an aggressive gesture that subconsciously puts people on the defensive. It doesn't invite cooperation, it just screams conflict. And the data on this is pretty wild. Studies show that a pointing finger gets a positive response only about 28% of the time. Now compare that to an open palm-up gesture, which gets an 84% positive response. So whether you're, in a salary negotiation or a tough family conversation, your hands are either building bridges or they're building walls. Kimber's aggression is literally hardwired to fail. So the crucial point is this. Kimber is completely obsessed with appearing powerful. He's loud, he's aggressive, and he's totally focused on short-term domination. Tommy, though, he's focused on being powerful. He's controlled, he's strategic, and he's interested in long-term influence. It's really the difference between a boss and a leader. And this is where the tables truly turn. Tommy stops just absorbing Kimber's aggression, and he begins his intellectual counterattack, and in doing so, he shifts the entire frame of the conversation. He uses this methodical 3-step approach. It's something you see the best negotiators use all the time. First, he identifies Kimber's problem. A rival gang, the Lees, are costing him money. Second, he highlights his own unique value. The Shelbys have intelligence on the Lees. And then third, he reframes the whole conflict as a partnership, a we solution where they can solve the problem together. Yep, this is another law of power in action. Tommy doesn't ask for mercy. He doesn't beg. He appeals directly to Kimber's self-interest. He presents a deal that's just too good for Kimber to refuse because it solves Kimber's biggest problem. Simple as that. And this is where it all clicks into place, revealing that none of this was an accident. Tommy engineered this entire situation. He intentionally started a conflict with the Lees just to lure Kimber onto his home turf. He researched Kimber, he understood his weaknesses, and he planned the whole encounter to turn an enemy into an ally. Genius. But just when it seems like Tommy has won, Kimber makes one final move. A direct attack not on Tommy's business, but on his pride. This right here is the ultimate test. Kimber throws money on the floor and demands he pick it up. He's ordered to kneel. right there, in front of his people, in his own pub. His pride, his status, his entire identity as a leader is on the line. I mean, what should he do? What can he do?
Tommy's response is a masterclass in what we can call strategic submission. What looks like weakness is actually his most calculated and powerful move yet. He understands that sometimes concealing your power is the only way to truly keep it. By sacrificing just a moment of pride, Tommy achieves everything. First, he appeases Kimber's massive ego. He lets him feel like he won. Second, he secures that lucrative business alliance. And third, and this is the most important part, he retains ultimate control. He just maneuvered his opponent into doing exactly what he wanted from the very beginning.
You know, the lesson here is just incredibly powerful. Whether you're talking about business or your personal life, Tommy's purpose, securing that deal and expanding his power, was so clear that Kimber's attempt to start an ego battle was completely ineffective. His goal was his armor. So, what can we actually take away from all this? I mean, how can we apply these lessons from the streets of Birmingham to our own high-stakes situations? Well, it all really comes down to 4 rules for your own playbook. Rule 1, master your emotions, because the calmest person in the room is always the most powerful. Rule 2, move with purpose and deliberation. Rule 3, always plan to the end. And Rule 4, probably the hardest one of all, play the long game. And that means always prioritizing your ultimate goal over some temporary victory for your ego. In the end, this entire incredible encounter boils down to a single, profound truth. Billy Kimber desperately needed to show everyone he was powerful. Tommy Shelby was so powerful, he didn't need to show it at all. This visual right here, it perfectly captures the difference in their mindset. Look at Kimber's focus. It's almost entirely on that immediate gratification for his ego. Tommy, meanwhile, he just kept his eyes on the real prize, the long-term goal that was going to change his family's future. And that leaves us with a final question to think about in our own lives. In our careers, our negotiations, and our conflicts, when is it smarter to just swallow our pride, to bend the knee for a moment, in order to win the entire war?